G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website and YouTube channel Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, I've just published an article. It's self-explanatory and I'll read it out to you. And it's titled, Liberals Paid $500,000 to Josh Frydenberg Sexual Assault Victim, which set a benchmark for Brittany Higgins' $2.4 million payment. And I published that on Thursday, the 26th of February 2026. And it starts off, Liberal Party scandals are set to be raised again in court as former Senator Linda Reynolds and former Liberal staffer Fiona Brown are suing the federal government over issues relating to Brittany Higgins' rape at Parliament House in 2019. One scandal could end former Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg's political comeback plans, as one of the issues that Linda Reynolds has raised in the past and is likely to raise again in court is the amount that Brittany Higgins was paid in compensation, which was $2.4 million. But what Linda Reynolds and others in the Liberal Party won't mention is that the benchmark for payments to assault victims was set when Scott Morrison government paid $500,000 plus costs to Rochelle Miller after she complained about being sexually assaulted by Josh Frydenberg when she was a junior staffer. When the Scott Morrison government paid Josh Frydenberg's sexual assault victim Rochelle Miller $500,000 to silence her 5 weeks before the 21st of May 2022 federal election, that sent the benchmark for the government to pay Brittany Higgins $2.4 million in December 2022 for being raped by Bruce Lerman at Parliament House. It must be noted that Brittany Higgins received $1.9 million after costs and spent an estimated $1 million or more on legal fees defending a defamation case by Linda Reynolds. So it is possible Rochelle Miller ended up with more. The Josh Frydenberg or Rochelle Miller scandal is an issue that could and should be raised by the government if Linda Reynolds' legal team raise how much Brittany Higgins was paid, which they are certain to do given previous public statements. I published an article on the 2nd of May 2022 titled, Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg refuses to deny kissing and groping Rochelle Miller without her consent when she was a junior staffer, which starts off, Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg is refusing to deny kissing and groping Rochelle Miller without her consent when she was a junior staffer in questions that I put to him after the allegations were reported in a story on the True Crimes News Weekly website on Wednesday the 4th of May 2022. If true, that is a criminal offence and another sexual assault that Scott Morrison and his government are trying to cover up. I published a follow-up article on the 8th of May 2022 titled, Scott Morrison confirms $500,000 payment was not for Alan Tudge's abuse, which means it had to be for the sexual assault complaint against Josh Frydenberg, which starts off, Scott Morrison and Senator Ann Ruston, who is the Coalition's campaign spokesperson, have both stated the $500,000 that will be paid to Rochelle Miller is for a separate matter other than the ones that were the subject of the Tom inquiry, which means it has to be for the alleged sexual harassment / sexual assault by Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg. On the 11th of April, Ann Ruston said on ABC Radio the payment was not related to the misconduct allegations raised by Miller, but a separate matter. And on the 17th of April, the Australian Financial Review published an article titled, Rochelle Miller's taxpayer-funded payout, not about Tudge. And there was a quote from the Prime Minister at the time, Scott Morrison. Both Scott Morrison and Ann Ruston refused to answer further questions, claiming they did not know what the separate matter, the $500,000 payment, was for, which is not believable. There's a problem for Scott Morrison and Ann Ruston and the media claiming they don't know what the separate matter is, when it is not too hard to put all the various news reports together to tell the full story, and that is what I have done in that particular article, and there's a link to my previous article. And the article goes on to say, Linda Reynolds and Fiona Brown's court cases. Former federal senator Linda Reynolds has sued or threatened to sue half the country, including myself and this website in 2023, and she is currently suing the federal government. The ABC reported in April 2025, Linda Reynolds launches legal action against Commonwealth over $2.4 million Brittany Higgins payout. Retiring Liberal Senator Linda Reynolds is suing the Commonwealth, claiming it breached its duty to act in her best interest while settling a compensation payment with Brittany Higgins. Reynolds' lawsuit also alleges negligence by the law firm used by the government. Fiona Brown instituted a proceeding against the federal government in 2025, with the New Daily reporting on the 23rd of February 2026. Former Prime Minister Scott Morrison is among dozens of people being sought by the government lawyers as they built a defence against a compensation claim by Brittany Higgins' former boss. The former Liberal leader became ensnared in Fiona Brown's case after she alleged he made a false statement to Parliament after the Higgins rape scandal erupted in 2021. Brown, a former staffer in Morrison's office, is suing the Commonwealth for damages, saying the government gagged her from responding to accusations about her handling of the Higgins claims. And I go on to say in the article, Scott Morrison has apparently been called a liar in an affidavit by Fiona Brown. And if that is going to be tested in court, it means Morrison will have to hop in the witness box, which would expose Morrison to perjury or admitting he lied previously. Linda Reynolds has already forced Brittany Higgins and her husband, David Shiraz, into bankruptcy, so she can't do any more damage to them. But Linda Reynolds, along with Fiona Brown, could now unintentionally expose the Liberal Party via their current court cases for the Liberals' lies and deception regarding Brittany Higgins. And then there is also the hypocrisy of complaining about Brittany Higgins' $2.4 million payment when the Liberals were happy to pay $500,000 plus cost to cover up Frydenberg's sexual assault of a junior staffer at Parliament House. The Liberal Party are likely in for a lot more embarrassment as Linda Reynolds and Fiona Brown's court cases exposes some more of the truth of what really happened. So the bottom line is, under the Liberal Party, when Scott Morrison was Prime Minister, the government paid $500,000 plus cost to Rochelle Miller to cover up Josh Frydenberg's sexual assault, which was trying to kiss her and groping her. So that set the benchmark for a $2.4 million payment for rape to Brittany Higgins, which the Liberal Party are complaining about. But they're the ones who set the benchmark when they were in government to conceal what Josh Frydenberg had done, and only a week before the 2022 federal election. Now, I published that article yesterday, and some people in the comments on social media have said, no, that was for Ellen Tudge. Well, it wasn't for Ellen Tudge. Rochelle Miller complained about Ellen Tudge, and there was a Tom inquiry, but she found there was nothing to see. But then they announced there was a $500,000 payment, but they didn't know what it was for. Of course they knew. And those issues are likely to be raised to some degree in Linda Reynolds' court case. And like I said, it's also relevant to Josh Frydenberg because he's trying to get back into Parliament. Now, I'm an independent journalist and I'm 100% crowdfunding viewers like yourself. And I've been running a campaign to help me keep on doing the work I'm doing, and I'll read that out to you. 13 weeks ago, I launched a campaign with a simple goal: find 200 new monthly supporters and keep on doing this work as a fully independent journalist, running this website and YouTube channel without corporate backing or paywalls. Since then, 127 wonderful people have stepped up and become monthly supporters. That's huge, thank you. We're now at 73 to go. If you've been enjoying the work and aren't yet supporting monthly, I'd be incredibly grateful if you consider joining them. Here's the situation. Like most independent journalists, I'm basically a one-person small business. Right now, a lot of us are feeling the squeeze, just like many small businesses and households are. To stay afloat and keep bringing you the reporting I do, I need roughly 200 more people, well, 73 now, chipping in whatever they can comfortably afford each month. Anything from $3 to $100 or whatever works your budget makes a real difference. There's no lock-in and you can cancel or adjust at any time. If that feels doable right now, you can see all the donation options on the donations page, and I'll put a link to that last video on YouTube. Your support, whether it's a monthly donation or one-off donation or just sharing my work, is what helps keep independent voices like this one alive. And please do your bit and help shine a light on corruption and share this video on social media. And please hit the like and subscribe button and notification button. That way you get notified when I publish a new video. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.